gonna get to know you. We're gonna talk it out. We're gonna get to know you and what you're all about. We're gonna get to know just what makes you feel alive. We're gonna get to know how you build, lead, and thrive. Build, lead, and thrive. Voices of the Androscoggin.
Welcome to Build, Lead, Thrive, Voices of Androscoggin, a bi-monthly podcast that features in-depth conversations with the people shaping Androscoggin County. Each episode dives into personal stories, showcasing the leaders and entrepreneurs behind the region's economic and community vitality. Hi, I'm your host, Shanna Cox, President and CEO of the LA Metro Chamber. I'm joined by local talent, longtime friend, and our producer, Mr. Mark Turcotte.
Hello.
Hello and welcome back.
Thank you.
It's been, 2 weeks?
It has been 2 weeks.
Or 2 days, depending on how we're counting.
That's true. It's been too long.
It's always too long.
Yes.
It's always too long. Together, Mark and I highlight the leaders and entrepreneurs building a stronger economy and vibrant community right here in our region, sharing stories of how they build, lead, and thrive. So today we're joined by Cyndi Robbins. Before I tell you all of the great things, and not even a portion, barely, scratch the surface of the many great things that this woman has done, I have been fortunate to have Cyndi be a mentor and a personal connection in our life. And I met her right here through the chamber. And so Cyndi, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is fun.
I can't wait to tell my our intro story, which I've retold a couple of times to select groups. So today's the day that we're just going to put it into the public space because it is my favorite story about you. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
So let's tell folks a little bit. Cyndi Robbins has built a pretty full life and a legacy around hospitality, community, and resilience. I didn't realize, but you were born in Chicago, raised across the country, and then found your way here to Lewiston, Maine.
Yep. When I was 14 years old, my father got a job at Pioneer Plastics.
And here you came.
And here I came.
What part of Chicago were you from?
I was in Oak Park. We lived there twice. I lived there when I was born, and then we went back when I was 12 and lived there for another year. But no, I lived in Hickory Corners, Michigan, Tupelo, Mississippi, Scarsdale, New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you've spent, at this point in particular, you spent most of your life here.
Oh, yeah. I love Maine. It's my place.
I love Maine, too, but I love it even more when other people love Maine and choose to call it home as well. Yeah. For those of us who were raised here, it's pretty easy to make the choice to stay. But for us to attract folks like you to stay here and make their life here, that always brings me a little bit of joy.
Oh, yeah. No, when we moved here when I was 14, soon after my father bought a camp out at Millerang Pond. And so we spent our summers there and our winters here. So
did you keep that camp?
I wish I had.
Given all of the kind of land and spaces that you...
Yeah, when my father retired from Pioneer Plastics, he sold the camp and moved on the resort property.
Well, I mean, that does make sense.
And he sold it for $35,000. And about 15 years ago, it sold for $600,000.
Yeah, that makes sense. Probably $1 million property today.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I wish you'd held on to it too. I'd come over and do some swimming. So Cyndi came here as a teenager. She discovered her passion for hospitality while working at the historic Poland Spring Inn. And that's where you met your husband and life partner, Mel Robbins. And together you transformed the resort, taking on every role imaginable, from housekeeping and chef to marketing and management, proving that no challenge was too small and no dream was too big. Beyond the resort, you have dedicated yourself to your community, supporting local nonprofits, preserving historic landmarks, creating traditions that have touched countless lives, from donating Thanksgiving meals to Maine families to providing free vacations for military families. Your story is one of hard work and vision and generosity, and shows how commitment and kindness can leave a lasting mark on both a business and a community. There is no way to get I can't name all the committees, I can't name all the boards, let alone and just in the last 2 years, I mean, if we extended that, so I struggled. Usually it's not so hard for me to put together a welcome biography, but ma'am, you have a legacy. It's literally there's a book out there.
Yes,
there's literally a book. I know because
and I'm
I own it.
actually working on the rewrite of it right now.
Oh, I love that.
Well, I rewrote it about 15 years ago, about 3 years after my husband passed, and so much has happened in the last 15 years.
I was going to say, if 15 years ago is the most current, you owe us a new one. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, well, we've sold out of the third edition, so we're ready for the fourth.
Yeah. I put me in line for that.
Okay.
Please. I would love an author signed copy.
Of
if I
course.
could. We usually start with a getting to know you segment before I do my little soft entry into some easy questions to get you and our listeners settled into our conversation. I'm going to tell it's not how I met Cyndi, but it's how I realized Cyndi was like maybe the most important person that I needed to like prioritize and make in my life. So I was newly brought into the chamber, maybe 5 or 6 months at most. Cyndi was a board member who had been on the hiring part of the committee. Our board was very big, 41 people that I had to interview in front of back in the day. And we were going through some conversations at the board level about like what it looks like to function as a board, what size is a good size of a board to be able to like really have good conversation and everyone be heard. And during that process and us thinking about kind of scaling the board, the pandemic was happening in the background and lots of business owners were really trying to figure out how to have their attention be divided on these like significant changes that the pandemic was causing and like still, make these volunteer commitments for the board. And so, we created this opportunity for people to say like, thank you. And I'd love to step away right now. And in some of that exchange, you had thought maybe I didn't want you on the board and had this very, like I remember the phone call where I'm like, so Cyndi, and you had sent this email that was like, and here's all of the reasons that you should want me, and now I don't want you. And I was like, no ma'am, I absolutely want you. And,
I don't even remember that.
Oh, I remember it so clearly. In part because what I loved is that you were like, I am a small business owner and I've done every aspect of my business and I've been a waitress and I don't have to be Miss Fancy Polished and I don't have to be these other things. And you don't have people representing some of the rural communities and I'm the real deal. And that's a great thing.
Well, you had walked into a year and a half after crisis here.
Yeah,
and
sure did.
I came on the board just as that crisis was over, and we had just started with Rebecca Conrad. So, when Matt changed the name, I was very upset.
You and 14 of the 16 communities we serve and every business in them, just so you know, are not alone in that.
Yeah, no, I know. And I don't remember the letter, but I remembered I felt it necessary for this chamber, if they're going to represent those other 14 towns, they've got to have people on it.
Yeah. What I love and what I couldn't agree with more is that two things. One is kind of behind what I was trying to do from like a governance revamp was to ensure that very thing was true and happened. Yep. To make space on the board for other voices and non-traditional voices when they really veered in a certain particular sector, shall we say. And two, all of the things that you like credentialed yourself with was about how you were real. And what a lot of people like probably didn't see in the hiring process, and as I was being considered a candidate for the role, is like I had spent 16 years waiting tables.
Oh, I know.
I was a single mom. I'd like worked through, and I don't know if those were the parts of my professional experience that like made the board members select me. I don't even know that they were brought to the board, right? Like it was part of my real story, and I don't hide that about who I am. And just the way that like so much of your story resonated with me because it's so reflective of my own personal story. And I think it's why you're an absolute badass. But the way in which you were like, and you should know this about me, I was like, I do. And you're who I want to retain. And don't you dare walk away from this board right now. I loved that exchange with you. I loved how courageous you were to say it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It endeared me to you, and I had already respected you, but I respected you in a very different way.
The thing that I learned during that period of being a board member here is how important the chamber is. Yeah. And that, I've said it a million times, you get out of the chamber what you put into it. And, I remember the day that Chip Morrison came into Mel Robbins' office and asked him to become a member of the chamber. And, we were just starting out and we didn't have any extra money. And Chip went, how about $100? Can you give me $100?
That's some Chip right there if I've ever heard it. I love that. You were such you served your full 6-year term on the board. You gave your heart and you were just like such a strong voice. when I look at where the chamber is now versus where it was in 2019, we've worked really hard to make sure the chamber is representative of the economy, of the labor sector, of the industries we serve, of the communities that we serve. And you just like reflected so many different pieces of that. And I think you being vocal that time and then bringing that same like voice to the board is part of how we successfully got from there to here. And I love that.
Yeah.
We owe you a lot for that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and we did a lot. We started hospitality, that group. That helped a lot, especially during COVID,
Yeah.
because we all became friends in the hospitality sector. And, I mean, we were at the whims of government, and it was the only place that we were safe to talk about our troubles.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of troubles.
Yeah. And how to solve them and how to have me go fight for some better solution or some clarity or some answer. Those were called Connecting Over series. We did a bunch of different ones for different industries. And we, at the time, if you can like remember back when people were, sanitizing cardboard boxes and we didn't really know what was happening.
It was awful.
It was pre-vaccine even, right? And pre-testing. Like we were very much in a very beginning
I
phase.
remember when, Androscoggin got their restaurant shut down and Oxford County didn't, and I was 4 miles from Oxford County.
Yeah.
I mean, we needed a voice, and the chamber was our voice.
Yeah. The checklist that they put out, like that's part of why we ended up calling it Connecting Over Hospitality or Connecting, is like these specific checklists of like, this is what you, based on being this type of NAICS code and this type of business must follow. And there was so much crossover. And you in particular, you have a golf course that you had to rules
Shut
for a
down.
golf course, a restaurant, you had a bar, you had hotel and lodging, and then you have these like park spaces too. I love Poland Spring.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I love, we come, if you guys haven't had the chance, first of all, Mel's is open all winter.
Yes,
They have
for the first
incredible
time in
food.
50 years.
It's very exciting. And you get the most incredible sunset views.
We do.
From Mel's. And the first time that I did, like, sat on the porch overlooking these beautiful greens, and the sun is just setting down over the town of Poland, and you're at the top of this hill feeling like extra special. It's just really magical.
Well, and right now, you look out and you see the top of Mount Washington.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is. And now that we're open in the winter, we're promoting what we've had all along, which is we have snowmobile trails.
Yeah.
And we have cross-country trails.
Like a lot.
A lot, yes. I'm blessed
I don't know
with
that
a great
everyone knows.
neighbor, Poland Spring Water, grooms all the trails on my golf course and on their trails. And then the Snowmobile Club does that for them. And then they take care of the snowmobile trails, too. Saturday, we had 25 machines in front of Mel's Hilltop.
Yeah. Well, so I grew up in Orland, which is like speck on the map between Bucksport and Ellsworth, but it is on essentially the like international highway for snowmobiles.
Yep.
Right? Doesn't follow like actual roads at all. And I grew up working at a little roadside diner, trucker place that was across the street in the summer from a campground. And the amount of like, we'd have this, it would be completely dead.
Right.
And then they would take over.
Well, I
And
mean,
such a fun crowd.
It's been a long time since down here we've had trails that are good.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good
Remember
snow
last year they couldn't even do the race up north. We didn't have enough snow.
Yeah. It's been a good snow year.
Yeah, it has.
All right. Ready for us to get to know you a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. When you have a free weekend in Androscoggin County, a free weekend, you can pick your own place, but you're not working. A free weekend, what does that look like for you?
It's never a weekend.
Yeah, right?
Yep. It just
Okay,
doesn't
well, you have
happen.
free 2 days consecutive.
Yes, yes. Love Booth Bay. My best friend has a boat there. Sleep on the boat with her and listen to the waves. Go out to eat in Booth Bay. Tomorrow, she and I are going to the main mall and shop.
Oh, fun. Are you a lobster girl?
Oh yeah, I love lobster.
Yeah.
One of the things that Mel started and I'm trying to bring it back this year, before COVID, we had dinner every night when the hotel was open, and it was a buffet. And one night a week, they could add a lobster for cost. And so I'm thinking about bringing that back this year.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, everybody loves lobster.
Yeah. See, give me mussels. Wet
I love mussels,
and
too.
white wine garlic broth sauce.
Oh, yeah, to die for.
With all of the crusty bread.
Well, when I owned Cindy's Dockside, we had that every night.
I know.
Yeah. Sorry.
Turn the knife, Cyndi, turn the knife.
Sorry.
This one I'm curious about because I've seen you in your element and you handle managing, I don't know how many like corporate businesses you own, but it's a number.
I just own one corporate business, Image Incorporated.
And then everything falls underneath it?
It does.
Well, because you've got the ice cream place, you've got the
Oh, yeah.
driving range, you've got...
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and so after a busy or stressful day, of which I know, if not stressful, definitely busy, how do you unwind?
Love to sit in the lobby and talk to guests.
Aw,
In the summer, that's where you're going to find me.
I love that.
We're very blessed. We have guests that have been coming for 50 years, and they love catching up and telling me about their winter and stuff. So that's where you'll find me in the summer. This time of year, I'm at Mel's Hilltop.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I've heard you had some banging trivia nights.
we have.
Yeah, full house.
Oh, yeah, packed to the gills.
Yeah.
So how this all started is we hired a great new chef from the Hilton Garden this past spring, and we got two great chefs at the clubhouse that are just fantastic. And, we got into August, and I'm like,
If you let them go, they might not come back.
exactly. So people say, oh, you're making money. That wasn't the idea. The idea was to keep my chefs.
Yeah.
And Robert Gushu, who's the gentleman that came from Hilton, he has this amazing culinary background. He cooked in New York City. He's really good. He was taught at the Culinary Institute. So my problem with him is he likes to make really fancy stuff, and I have to keep telling him, they won't know what that is. Can you put an English tongue to it?
I love that.
Well, he's French. You name it, he can cook it. And so we found the things that do best at Mel's Hilltop are things that people know what they mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're coming out with a new salmon dish this week, and it's honey and garlic sauce. It's delicious. But he wanted to put parsnips with it. And I'm like, half the people love parsnips, but half the people don't like parsnips.
Yeah, just call them white carrots and throw them in with yellow carrots and orange carrots, and then people can choose.
Oh, okay. But we've got a really good cooking team, and I wanted to keep it.
Yeah.
And Monday night we have game night, and Tyler and her husband Keith are so much fun.
They are.
They're packing that house.
Yeah.
The first night I went to it, I think it was Jeopardy. And people were just laughing their guts out.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have fun with it too. I'm so excited to see that Mel's is open for the winter. I think that was a genius business move for you because good chefs you want to hold on.
Oh yeah, you don't want to lose them.
No, it's a super competitive space. But I'm even more excited to hear that you being open is going so well.
Yeah,
which
it
is fantastic.
At Friday nights we have an entertainer of some sort. Denny Bro, Toby McAllister's playing soon. Have you ever seen Toby?
I hear amazing things about him.
Well,
I've never been able to see him live.
He has a big group called Sparks. That is, they fill the house in Portland, big time. But he does solo also. And he played at Cindy's Dockside for me, and now he's playing at Mel's Hilltop.
Yeah,
so.
him and Denny have been on your list for a long time. They're frequent.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people that have been on the list.
Yeah.
Last week we had Roundabout, and they filled the house too.
See, that's fun.
So
Where would one check for your event schedule?
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. My parents, shout out to Dad and Bobby, who are frequent listeners to our podcast, as parents should be. 2 years in a row, my Christmas gift has been gift certificates to Poland Spring Resort, which Chad and I choose to use in different ways. Sometimes we'll go to Mel's and have a little date night, and we're looking for the right time to book a room. All right, my last getting to know you question. What is something people might not expect about you outside of your work?
That I'm a painter. my husband definitely believed in enabling people to follow their dreams. He's passed now, but like David Locke came to work for us as a bookkeeper, and he found out that he really loved theater, so we started doing theater at the hotel.
Aw.
And he was the director. And we got involved with Community Little Theater, and their actors performed every summer at the hotel. And David was the director and the piano player.
I love that.
So Mel found out that as a young person that I really liked to paint. And when we started going to Florida for the winter, when we started closing the hotel in 1978, he signed me up for art classes down in Florida.
Aw.
Bought me every kind of possible,
Acrylic oil,
oils,
watercolor, pastels.
everything, and bought me this big, like a drawing board, so that I could learn how to paint, learn how to do stuff. So that's what I did every winter, and so no, that's probably what they wouldn't know.
So you still paint?
I do.
So I paint.
Yeah.
I do watercolor.
I do acrylic.
I was
mostly,
curious.
but I'm actually just bought a set of watercolor. I'm going to try it.
Well, if you ever want to get together, I'll bring my watercolors and you have your acrylics, and we'll do a little swappy moment, because the hard thing about watercolor compared to acrylic or oil
You
is
can't make a mistake.
well, there is that. It is very
Well, that's
visible.
what scares me.
I mean, you just start with a
Because
piece of
acrylic,
paper.
let it dry and you can paint over it.
The thing that's tricky with watercolor is anything that's going to be white, like highlights. With acrylic or oil, you touch it with white at the end to like really add the dimension and put the highlight on it. And you have to plan from the beginning that space is going to stay white and keep it white while you're painting.
Yeah.
So it's almost like turning your brain upside down
It
to be
is.
able to think about doing acrylic, which for some reason I get a little nervous about. Like I'm like, well, I'm used to watercolor, and my son Destin is always saying like, Mom, you just got to give acrylic a try. So
The last painting I did was for Shaker Village. I did a painting for them for the meeting house and such, which
I
is
love
hanging there.
Aw. Do they still open up the Shaker Village?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I lived not in Poland. I lived in Mechanic Falls, right behind the IGA, for a number of years when the twins were just born and Tayden was young, and so we'd regularly go down to the Shaker Village.
Yeah, it's open from Memorial Day to Columbus Day weekend.
Nice.
And then until Christmas, they're open just Saturdays, the store.
Yeah.
But I happen to go worship there, so I go every Sunday.
Good for you. I used to work at Fuel,
Yeah.
and they would come in and they would raise a pig for us at Fuel, and the deal was they would raise it. It would come in and get butchered in-house
Yeah.
and served, but that they got to eat whatever they wanted from that pig whenever they came in for like 2 or 3 meals.
Yeah.
And our chef always just did the absolute most
Yeah.
special dishes for them. And they were so lovely.
Yeah, they're amazing people.
Yeah, yeah. Next Sunday, you tell them that Shanna from Fuel says hi.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm sure Brother Arnold was there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a new shaker. Her name is April. She joined about 6 months ago, and then there's June, so there's 3 shakers right now.
Yeah. 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 I think I had heard that Brother Arnold had passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was definitely always him that
Yep.
came in. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have known Sister Frances too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And what I loved is they knew how to order a good drink too.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they might not believe in sex, but they do believe in drinking.
Yes, ma'am. They knew how to order the right martinis, and they were always just I would get to wait on them, and they just were so full of life and great stories, and they really enjoyed hospitality.
Oh,
like
big
it was
time.
an experience.
Big
They didn't come for
Well,
food.
I go there for Easter and Christmas and such, and Brother Arnold cooks for 30, 40 people every holiday. And wine is served.
Yeah, yeah. They had great taste in wine too.
Yes, they do.
It was. I always.
Are you kind of learning something, Mark?
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate the education.
It was always so fun. Because that's the difference, right? And that's what you guys do at Poland Spring Resort is you focus on hospitality.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't make rooms available or make the golf course available. It's a whole experience.
It's a whole experience. Yeah, it is. For the house guest, it's about relaxing.
Yeah.
as I said, we have a lot of hotel guests that have been coming forever. And then we have new guests that it's their first time. I mean, during COVID, it was the first time I really marketed heavy in Maine because it was the only people that
Yeah.
could come besides New Hampshire. And people were coming from Gray, Maine and going, why did I not know this was here?
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. Do they keep coming back? Do you get some
They
of those
do.
folks? That's
Those people from Gray came every other week during COVID.
Once you go, because what is it the sign says? There's a big gate, and as you come onto like
Stress-free zone.
Stress-free zone. And I remember chuckling the first time I saw that. And then there was it was the pandemic.
Yes.
And we had a breakfast under the tent. And it was our first breakfast, bringing people together. And we were doing it there, particularly because we could do it outside. And there was I think it was like the Poland Spring Business After Hours was the night before. And so Katie and I got a hotel room and stayed because breakfast is early. And your hospitality made waking up early hard. And I was like, I was stress-free. That was really nice. I knew what that sign meant when I left.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
I tell my staff it doesn't apply to them.
Does it your staff? I mean, you've had staff for loyalty is the number one thing I would say. The return guest, the return staff. I mean, you've had staff like you who have worked there since they were teenagers.
Liz, who's in our reservation office, has worked for me for 43 or 44 years.
Yeah.
And Sue has worked close to 40. My maintenance people tend to stay for 15, 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's an experience.
It is. It's family.
Yeah.
It's a very unique place.
Yeah. I sometimes describe it to people, if you've ever seen the movie Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. I actually have that on my website.
It's just like the best way to explain, it's just you go and it's like this whole little micro community and it's got its whole own feel, and you cross that imaginary line and you just become one with this place, and the rest of the world kind of melts away. And now in particular, we could all use a little of that.
And I think also the history helps.
Yeah.
Knowing that this place has been around since 1794.
Yeah. You got the chapel there. You've got the main state building, which was at the
World's Fair in
Thank
Chicago,
you.
called the Columbian Exposition.
Yeah.
1893, the building was built by the state of Maine. When they closed up the fair, the Ricker family bought it for $30,000, sent their maintenance crew there to tear it apart piece by piece, put it on 16 railroad cars, brought to Danville Junction, and then brought to Poland Spring by oxen.
By oxen.
By oxen.
Well, it's pretty heavy. That makes sense.
Yeah, pretty heavy.
Wasn't sled dogs bringing
And they
it.
reopened it 1895 on July 4th. And it was opened as a library, and I don't know if you know that the Job Corps rented the property in the 60s. And so they used it as a place to teach during that. Huh. And then it was closed. And then after the big Poland Spring House fire in 1975, an organization got together called the Poland Spring Preservation Society. And they took over that building and the All Souls Chapel, and they still have it. This is going to be their 50th anniversary this year.
Oh, people still get married in the chapel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. The stained glass windows are made by the same people that make stained glass for Tiffany.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and for folks who don't know, if you go, I mean, I don't know what else to call it other than a campus, because it is a sprawling association of properties and buildings. And
Right. I mean, there's three of us up there. There's Poland Spring Water, Poland Spring Resort, and the Poland Spring Preservation Society.
Yeah.
From our entrance, you can get to the old bottling plant, which was built in 1906, which is now a museum for the bottling company.
Which I've gone to and has some cute exhibits, and you can even see like the original. The trucks don't fill up there anymore, and that's not. But you can see where the original
spring is.
Yeah.
It still bubbles out of the ground.
Yeah, I mean, for folks, if you're listening and you're, local to this area, plan a trip. And if we do have listenership outside of the state, and so those folks should go ahead and plan ahead.
Oh, good.
And come, preferably in the summer when it's nice and warm.
Yeah, unless you're a skier.
Yeah. Otherwise, come now. All right, so we're going to start with some kind of build themes. I would love for you to tell us about when you first started working at Poland Spring as a teenager and how that experience built you, and then how you built it to what we see today.
So, as I said, my parents had a camp on Middle Ring Pond, and I was going to Lewiston High School, and we were spending the summer at Poland Spring, and my father thought it would be a really good idea for me to get a job at 16, which I had never thought about. And I went up there, and there was two men that had rented the place from Mr. Feldman, and Horace Burns and Herbie Spitzer. And this was probably May. And with zero training, I worked opening night. And they had hired the ink spots. And they had a maitre d' from Florida who shouldn't have been a maitre d'. And he assigned all the waitresses by the reservation time. And so all 6 of my tables all sat down at the exact same time.
That is the worst way to allocate tables ever.
I mean, you've been in the business. That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
Yeah, like you take all the A's.
Yeah, it was awful. Anyway, so
That was your first night ever? Was
my
getting
first
like
night working.
6 sat at the same time?
Yeah.
That's wild.
The kitchen, it was their very first night of opening. Half the people didn't get fed till 10 o'clock at night. Half of my guests did not pay their check. And I came in the next night, and Horace Burns fired me. And Herbie Spitzer stood up for me and said, it's not her fault that her guests didn't get fed. It's my fault. And so anyway, it was a summer of drama. I learned a lot because these were two people from Florida. They had leased the hotel. They were trying to be high-end in a facility that wasn't high-end.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they went broke by August.
Wow. That's quick.
Yeah, that was quick.
Even for the industry. That's quick.
And Mr. Feldman, who owned the property, kept me on and taught me a lot. He had been, he had run Poland Springs since 1962. He had built the main inn. He built the lodge. When the main inn closed for the winter, I went to work for him at the lodge. I learned how to be a short order cook. And at the ripe age of 17.
Totally made sense then, though.
Yeah. I learned how to cook a burger, which my mother had never taught me. She was such a great cook that I never had to cook at home. And then that following spring, Mel Robbins comes with a totally different attitude. I'm working for Mr. Feldman as a short order cook 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. And then I worked for Mel 20 hours a week, waitressing at night.
Yeah.
But I was too young to serve alcohol, so I got all the people that didn't drink.
Which is not necessarily where the tip money comes from.
No.
Yeah.
No, but that was so that summer I lived on property. I lived in the Presidential Inn, and I've lived on property ever since.
That's crazy. Like, did 17-year-old you look ahead and be like, someday I'll own all this?
No.
Right?
No. I mean, as I said, we had a camp, and I had a 17-foot aluminum boat with a putt-putt motor on it, and I would go sit on I need to take you there, the beach house.
Yeah.
But I would sit on the entrance of that house, which was ready to fall down at the time. I mean, that's one of the things that people don't understand when they go there now. When Mel took over the hotel, the mattresses were straw.
Wow.
Yeah. The carpet hadn't been replaced in 50 years. I mean, the place was tough shape. And so, he came up with this unbelievable price of $25 weekend, and he started selling out, and we started making money, and then we started improving the place, and then in 82 we bought it.
I love that. You don't hide any part of yourself, which really resonates with me and I really respect and love about you. But there are so many people who, if they didn't know your story and they met you today for their first time, you're a businesswoman to reckon with. Your holdings are significant. Your presence in Poland is large. And most people wouldn't know that you got every little bit of that because you worked.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that I tell people when they really push me, because they think it was just handed to Mel and I. Mel came there with $7,000. I came there with nothing.
Yeah. For what it's worth, that exact thing is what was in your letter to me. Was that maybe I thought that about you, and I didn't. I didn't know your story, but I could tell you had a story because I could see in you that which I knew of my own story, right? That like somehow whatever it was about you, you had gotten it through grit and determination and just showing up. And
Well,
it's so great about you.
I was very blessed because, in my early years, it was all back at the house. But in the years that, Mel knew he was sick and was going to, he had Alzheimer's and he knew that eventually he wouldn't be able to do what he was doing, he started training me. I mean, if you'd asked me 30 years ago, would I get on this podcast, I would have said, absolutely not. I don't talk in public. I was the back of the house girl. And when he used to do a Sunday night talk, which the guests would check in on Sunday and they would sit there mesmerized for 2.5 hours as he would tell them the history of Poland Spring. So when he started losing it, he would sit me at the edge of the stage. And I'd sit there and fill in words when he couldn't remember the words. Yeah. And then slowly we did it together. And so, there was a lot of training.
Yeah.
And
decades.
Yeah.
Of learning on the job. At what point did hospitality stop being a job for you and become like a calling and a lifestyle?
I think when I went to the front of the house.
Yeah.
Because that's when I found out how much people really enjoyed relaxing and being there. Because when you're in the back of the house, I think you tend to hear the gripes.
Yeah. Yeah. As a server, I can tell you it's where we go to safely say all the worst stuff.
Right. And, I'll never forget, Mel made me the chef when I had no experience, and he gave me this book that's put out by Wensler. It's about 350 pages of how to cook for 100 people. I was following that book, and so I made corned beef and cabbage. Well, the book said al dente cabbage. Well, people don't like al dente cabbage. They like it cooked to death.
Yeah, they do.
And I had this one guy come pouncing in the kitchen, yelling at me, "You don't know how to cook cabbage." And I'm like, what do you say? I don't.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best I can.
Right.
But no.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me because I had worked at restaurants. I think to some extent, I really, truly believe that it's a multifaceted job that I have now. But I truly believe at the core of what I do here at the Chamber in this role is hospitality.
Absolutely.
It's like making people feel seen and understanding what they need and creating spaces for people to connect or find purpose with each other. And that's hospitality.
Well, and you're talking to people every day.
Yeah.
Like for this business advocacy, which I missed yesterday, sorry.
It's okay.
You're talking about things that really matter to people, and you're going to get both sides.
Oh, yes, ma'am. We do.
I'm sure you do. And some you're going to agree with, and some you're not.
Mm-hmm. But just be able to hear it, and for and to have a space where folks can say what is important to them, and to hear from others that okay, it is important, right? You also think it's important.
Oh yeah.
I came up through hospitality, like coastal hospitality. My family's from Bar Harbor, and I worked and like you, it's not until the difference between it being a job and being something that you pull your purpose from and that you really enjoy is seeing how it makes others feel.
Oh yeah, that makes a huge difference. And
I've watched you work a room. Yeah. It's one of your best qualities and skills. She can make her way around a room, and every person feels like they're the most special person in the room.
Well, at the hotel in the summer, I go to every table every morning for breakfast. I walk around. How was your night? How's everything? It's important.
Yeah.
And you learn.
Yeah. Well, and it's where you fill your cup up from too, that human interaction, which you don't get if you're just back of house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Tell me about some of those renovations and reinventions because, just in case folks are curious, it is not straw beds anymore. You've done a number of changes over the years. And I don't know that, other than the fire, maybe there was a set moment where you did a full, but you guys are just constantly iterating.
We never stop.
Right.
Yeah, right now, I that's why I'm going to Portland to buy new paintings for some of the hotel rooms that we're redoing right now at the lodge.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's one of my missions tomorrow in Portland. But and I'm also buying 8 new chairs for Ford rooms because I went in the rooms and I'm like, I don't like those chairs anymore. We need them. They're too short.
Keep me in mind because I need short chairs and it's
Okay.
hard to find short chairs. Most
These
chairs
are very short chairs.
Chairs that I sit in, I either can't sit back all the way.
I bought them from an online company. I won't say their name, but I wasn't pleased.
Yeah.
They're for short people.
I am a short person.
Shanna
and
will buy all of your short
furniture
chairs.
is hard to find.
I have 8 chairs for
Okay,
you.
I don't need that many. I am unfortunately the only one in my house of this particular stature, but it's short people have a hard time finding chairs, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, when we bought the property in '82, the big project that we had at that point was up to that point, we had run the 3 hotels, the Main Inn, the Presidential Inn. We'd taken over the Presidential Inn 2 years before that. So that had been totally remodeled. The Main Inn had slowly been remodeled. The Lodge we took over. But now we've got 15 cottages. And Mr. Fellman had been renting them to people that mostly were on welfare. They had not been touched. I mean, most of these cottages were built in 1820. And so we went cottage by cottage and...
you talk about cottage. I'm sorry. I'm just going to interrupt people who have like a quaint little tiny,
Yeah, no, these are not cottages.
Yeah, ma'am.
They're all houses.
Yeah.
They were built by the Rickers for the family or for important managers, like the Fenn House across the street that
Yeah.
you've been to play mini golf.
Yeah.
That was built for Arthur Fenn, who was the original designer of our golf course.
Yes. And is like a little bit of an architectural legacy.
Right.
For building golf courses.
Right. We are now a National Historic Site. So that means that
It means don't mess with your course.
right. It means that I have 25 buildings, 23 of them on the National Register, including the golf course. So
That's wild.
it is wild.
That's quite a commitment.
Yeah,
To
it is.
history and preservation.
It is. And anyway, so we started redoing these cottages, and it was amazing what we found in these cottages because they were built in 1820.
History? Did you find like cool stuff in the walls? And
Well, one of the things we found is in cottage 1 through 4, they have these huge copper tanks upstairs. They used to bring and haul water to these cottages and put them up in these big tanks up on the 3rd floor. So before they had running water, the Rickers could take a bath. Back in 1820, most people went outside to do their business.
That's wild. I would also point out the 3rd floor in the cottage just to accentuate the point.
Well, we have 2 cottages that hold 16. There's 7 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms.
Cottage.
Yeah.
With air quotes.
Yeah, and we have a couple more that are 12 bedrooms. Not 12 bedrooms, 12 beds. 6 bedrooms. So yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
They hold anywhere from 4 to 16 people.
Yeah. And a great place for like a family reunion.
And golf.
Yeah.
16 guys coming from Massachusetts. Barbecue grills outside, a fire pit outside.
Endless golf rounds.
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know that most people know that those buildings are for rent. What is the length? I've been curious about this. What is the length people usually stay in them? 'Cause that's not like a 2-night journey.
Oh, no, it is.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We rent a lot of them for just the weekend.
Huh.
But we get people that stay 7 days. So
Yeah.
it just depends. One of them, the one that I used to live in, Ricker House, it has a private pool, so that's become very popular.
Yeah. You got that pool put in and then you
Yeah.
moved out. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, the stairs were killing me. But it's very popular.
We've talked a bit about your skills, and I think it's pretty clear that you're like a roll your sleeves up, do it kind of person. You are
I
a
am.
doer. What I think that might not let people fully realize is you are also a leader.
Well, I've had to become one.
Yeah.
As I wasn't, as I said, I worked for Mel Robbins for years, but when he passed, I had to take the role.
And you haven't looked back since.
Nope.
You've been a leader in organizing events, in fundraising, in committees, in boards, in community.
Well, as I told you, Mel's lawyer told me at his funeral, you either need to get involved with politics or charity. And I was already involved with the Poland Spring Preservation Society, the main state building in the church. And then Julie Chackley reached out to me to become part of Androscoggin Home Care. So I was on their board for 9 years.
Yeah.
And I'm still very much involved. I do their largest fundraiser of the year. Heather Printup and I are the co-chairs.
Yeah. Autumn Night Out, right?
Autumn Night Out.
Yeah.
Last year we raised $185,000 in one night.
It's amazing.
It is.
It's just genuinely
You need to
amazing.
come to that.
This past year would have been the one I could come to. There's something else that happens.
Well,
I want to
this
say.
year we're moving it to, because Friday would have fallen on September 11th, and
Yeah.
we chose not to do it on the 11th. We're doing it on the 12th, so it's going to be a Saturday night this year.
Well, we'll see if that makes a difference. I think it was always the fall conference for my professional association.
yeah.
And it's, anyway, that won't be a problem this year.
No, it won't be.
No, I'm really looking forward to being able to come. I've wanted to come all along, and I hear just amazing things
It's a
about
great
it.
night.
Your AV crew,
Yes.
we share for our annual
Yes.
awards, and every time I see those guys, they are also talking about how lovely your event was, and
Yeah.
when the vendors are also saying how
Well,
amazing
this year
it
we're
is.
doing something even more exciting because it's their 60th anniversary.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. So typically we have a cocktail tent with all the silent auction items, and then we go to the big tent for dinner and the live auction. This year, after the live auction, we're going inside the main inn for a gambling night.
I'm in September 12th. Mark, you busy? Want to come?
Yeah.
And it's probably like
it's fake gambling,
right? Which that's why I'm excited, because I'm a terrible gambler.
Oh,
so I've been
we
looking
did this
for one
at
of these
my
fake
70th
gambling
birthday,
nights.
and it was so much fun.
Yeah, that's the kind of gambling I can get down with, because I honestly really just am not good at real gambling. I don't have any luck.
That's
first
probably
of all.
something else people wouldn't know about me. I love to gamble.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Blackjack or craps.
So you can teach me craps. Blackjack, I like half know.
Yeah. No, Mel, that's where Mel and I spent our honeymoon, was Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun. But you didn't get married in Vegas?
No.
Where'd you get married?
Main Inn dining room.
But not the chapel.
No, the chapel was in disrepair at that point. That was we got married May 4th, 1975. It was his birthday. And the Poland Spring House burned 2 months later, and that's when the Poland Preservation Society was formed, was after the fire.
And so all of that preservation has been since.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
When you think, I know that you don't like, as you just stated, like I had to, which I think also is very humble and on brand for you, ma'am. Tell me what you think about your leadership style. Like, how would you characterize your leadership style? And how much of that was an intentional choice versus the molding of how you got there?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, my first supervisory job was at the age of 18. I took over the dining room. And Mel, he had a lot of faith in me. We hadn't even started dating at this point. And, he saw me bossing around 60-year-old waitresses and was like, I can't believe you could do that. I'm like, well, I know the job and I know what needs to get done.
And I'm not going to do it while they stand there and don't do anything.
Well, but I think they will all tell you I was very kind.
I bet.
I mean, I've had generations work for me now.
Yeah.
I've been there 55 years. So, I've had families that, it was funny. I'm going to physical therapy now because I had my shoulder replaced in November. And I went in Monday and this woman started talking to me, and she was in her 80s. And she saw my Poland Spring Resort shirt, and she said, do you know da-da-da? And it was her grandkids, and they had worked for me. And do you know that? And it was her daughter. And then she really got me. And did you know blah, blah, blah? She worked for you. She was my mother. She was the only one in the family that hadn't worked for me.
Is it too late? She can come in and get a couple shifts in.
Yeah,
Really,
sure.
really keep the whole thread.
Well, and that's one of the neat things about Poland Spring is because we're seasonal. Yes, we have full-time year-round employees, maintenance and housekeepers and stuff, but primarily our employees are part-time. Some don't work full-time in the summer.
Very.
And we hire from 14. I think my oldest employee at one point was 94.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so many jobs there that don't require a lot of skill, but they require being nice.
Yeah. So kindness, probably your...
Oh, big time.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
If you're going to be in the hospitality business, you better be kind.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And yet, as you well know, plenty of people are in the hospitality business who are only kind when they think the right person's watching.
Well, I got to tell you a story from 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So I guess this guy had gone to the front desk and said that his sink didn't work. And I guess he went back a second time. And then the third time, he gets me. And I'm like, you've been to this desk 3 times to get your sink fixed? I will take care of that right now. And he went into this tirade about women can't do anything.
Ugh. Mark's like,
and I was like, I'll show you what I can do.
Yeah, I bet. Is that all you said?
I'll stop there.
Did you show him?
Oh,
did he eat his words?
He ate his words.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
As we carried his luggage out.
Yeah. Because there's just no place for that. There is
no place for that.
No. For me, it's the... there was this interesting, kind of point in my life. If you've ever, I'm one of those people who firmly believes like everybody should spend 6 months working in a restaurant, front of house with customers, and everybody should spend 6 months working in retail. Absolutely. Either or would be nice. Both is really what you should be doing, and everybody should. And so I came up through. I did a little bit of retail. I actually sold dollhouse miniatures for an entire summer. Yep.
I love them. I've built doll houses.
Yeah, it was like it's a whole shop and there's a whole following for it.
Of course, I donated it and a charity got a lot of money for it.
Of course you did. You also have to know the scale. That's a fundamental piece of the miniatures world. But most of my time was in hospitality. I was a busser. I was a dishwasher. I also was a breakfast cook far before I should have been. Like, you got thrown into it because the breakfast cook was hungover and didn't show up for the third time. And you're like, I guess I'm cooking eggs today.
I tell people I learned how to bartend on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you do it out of necessity. I think that's most people who advance in the hospitality sector do it because someone didn't show up that day. And then they keep that job.
I mean, the reason that Mel made me a supervisor was I just happened to be at the front desk one night and these people came and he was like, I'm sorry, I don't have a room. Everything I have is dirty. And I'm like, I'll go clean it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's exactly right. What I found interesting and has informed my leadership style, my perspective, my approach to the world and to people in general. I don't know if you guys can remember, there's an era that made movies about it since, and it's funny to see these movies and be like, that is actually how that happened. But pharmaceutical industry really took off, and pharmaceutical sales was done through bringing doctors and kind of people of influence in medical offices in for fancy meals, and then they'd do a presentation and then buy a bunch of wine and have good food.
Now they bring pizza to the office.
Yeah, which is very different. Anyway, I made a lot more money when it was the other way. But I was the server in those rooms, and so I'm in these rooms. I'm a young mom, single. I'm on main care. My kids are on main care, and you hear these doctors talking about leeches on the system, and you just get this very different perspective of how people will talk to you and how they would treat me in the room, not make eye contact, just I want another. And within 4 years, I was sitting at the table with some of these people, in these other settings, and they're all, oh, well, hello, miss, and just very different. And to this day, when I sit and dine with somebody and the person at the table has always only treated me with kindness and has always only been lovely to me, but then I see them be dismissive to serving staff, I immediately know.
That doesn't work at Poland Spring.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No.
My husband, when we started the country club membership, it was one of the things that he put in to be a member. You always have to be a lady and a gentleman. If you're not, you're going to be removed. I've done it. I've had members that have been totally disrespectful to my staff.
Yeah.
And it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah. I love
They'll
that.
put up with it. I won't.
You're a rare breed. You and your facility are a rare breed because there are plenty of places where you see. I think maybe less so now. I think there's been a movement around being kind, and not just post pandemic, but I think the pandemic really put some be nice to people who are providing service to you. But that always has irked me around hospitality, and it just I won't ask my staff to do anything that I won't absolutely do next to them.
Absolutely.
There is no less than, more than, any of that crap. And I feel like that's the other thing I would name as a hallmark of your leadership style.
I must admit, as I've hit 71, yes, I can still wash dishes, but I'm not going to stand there 4 hours and wash dishes. But I'll do it for a short period, but I'm not physically capable of doing long stints like I used to be. But I was talking about Roundabout. They had a packed house last Friday. And so I'm grabbing employees and saying, go get more tables downstairs. We need more tables. I was clearing tables. I mean, Mike Bossy, my general manager, he was clearing tables. I mean, we were right in the thick of it. You hope that you always have enough staff that doesn't happen, but sometimes it does.
Yeah. No, well, sometimes you just can't expect a night's going to turn out a certain way, or they're all going to come at once. Sometimes you have enough staff if it was paced, but it wasn't paced, and now it feels like you don't have enough of anything.
Yeah.
I want to talk about thriving and the way in which your role, not just you, Cyndi, but you, the property, and I'm going to use that term really kind of broadly, you're such an integral part of Poland. The 4th of July celebration. I mean, I think it would be very easy to grow up in Poland and think that your resort's a public park.
And that's on purpose.
Yeah.
It was not true. I mean, I love the Rickers. I'm still friends with the Rickers, but they kept it very exclusive. There's parts of Poland Spring you got to pay for, and there's parts of Poland Spring you don't have to pay for. Yeah. When the water company restored the bottling plant, the old bottling plant, and they put in all those hiking trails, it became a place for people to come hike with their dog. Yeah. We do ask them to keep their dog restrained, however they restrain it. Yeah. Some people can do it by voice. Some people have to have a leash. My dogs, you need more than a leash. But I see people all over the property that are out walking their dogs or just getting exercise or whatever. And we purposely built Finn Park across the street so that it didn't. There's still people that think that they're not allowed to go on the resort property, even though I've never said that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we most recently, I brought Chad for Heritage Days. Yeah. And I mean, it's just where I grew up, we had the Blue Hill Fair, and you have these, the Orland Village Days. You have these, small town, really where you get to see everybody in the town and all of the different people. And there's craft vendors and snacks, and usually throw something at somebody for money game. And
we started that over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a combination of the water company, the town, and me. It's a great event.
It makes you an incredible partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been.
Yeah, you are also as somebody who hosts events that are, trying to bring people together and create a sense of community, and sometimes you book a venue and other times you have incredible partners who are invested in the event with you, and you're that one.
Yeah.
And it's so clear.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, I think is my point, but you're welcome if that's helpful at all. You've been involved in so many boards and initiatives. What keeps you saying yes to community leadership?
I can't say no. I mean, my staff, every time I say yes again, they look at me like, oh. Because a lot of them involve them.
The thing about you is when you say yes to participation or leadership, there's no scaling that leadership or participation to your capacity or the need. You are either all in or not. Yeah. You don't have you're an on-off switch.
I don't do no well.
No, you really don't. You don't. And I think people have figured that out about you. Yeah. You have a huge heart, and that shows. in all of the ways that you show up.
You know, yes, I have a huge heart, and I do what I can do. I mean, like, one of the things that you brought up at the beginning, during the Afghan war, I had all kinds of empty rooms, and we worked remember when the business show was at the Coliseum?
Yes.
The lady behind me was with the Maine Military Assistance Program, which you've probably never heard of, but they help people that are in the National Guard here in Maine with whatever. I mean, there's people in the state that are suffering PSD and a lot of things that they've seen that they'll never be able to forget.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I said, is there any way to give vacations away to military? And she's like, nobody does that. They might give us one room a year. And I'm like, no, I'm talking empty rooms. And we still continue today.
You do.
Yeah. And, you know, I know that they're there because they all got really short hair. But they bring their families, and they can stay 2 to 5 days.
Yeah.
And they relax.
Yeah. Well, it's because that stress-free zone that we were talking about.
It is.
It really
they're in the pool, they're playing pickleball, they're all over the place. They have to pay for that, but you know, it's still getting them out there.
Yeah.
And I know Mel would have just loved the idea.
Yeah. I wish I had the chance to meet Mel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't. I do feel like I know him the way that you talk about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a great quality for you and a gift for the rest of us.
As we were talking about at the very beginning when I started working there, back in those days in the 70s, you talked to your boss like Mr. Robbins.
Yeah.
And here I was, 17 years old, calling this 27-year-older man Mel. I mean, he didn't believe in Mr. Robbins.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in Miss Robbins.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't imagine. I can't imagine calling you that. My head would swivel if I heard someone else say that.
Oh, it will swivel because
I can't imagine.
I as soon as somebody calls me by my quote, quote, real name, they call me Cynthia. I know.
Gross.
They don't really know me.
Yeah. Boy, even you just saying that, I don't think I've ever heard anybody refer to you that way.
It happens on Scam.
Yeah, that's when you know you should hang up.
Yeah.
Ms. Robbins there, click.
Exactly.
She's not. I haven't heard from her ever. We always have to wrap it up. Before I do, ask our final question. You got any questions?
Yes.
I love that.
That was a great segue, too, because I was curious, Cyndi, what your fondest memory of Mel is.
Top two. We'll allow top two if it's hard to narrow.
I would say at the hotel it was watching him interact with history, because he came there with the idea that when he came there was 5,000 acres. And Mr. Feldman, he thought that Mel was going to come in there and sell all those lots and be gone in a year. And instead he fell in love with the history and me and the property. And, as I said, I liked watching him enable people. And it wasn't just David and I, it was all kinds of people that he enabled to follow their dreams.
Yeah.
The second would be traveling. Mel and I, because we closed the hotel starting in 78, we traveled every winter till he was unhealthy too. So I got the pleasure of going around the world 3 times.
Wow.
Been to some really cool places like Cuba and India and Singapore. And that made me a better person too, because I understand the world better than most.
Yeah, I love that. Great. Always a good question. What's one lesson that you've learned that you think future business or community leaders really need to hear?
To listen to your employees.
Oh, say that again louder for the ones in the back.
They know what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're not always right, but they bring they totally bring something that you hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
And as I said, I've got a lot of long-term employees, and, they know what's going on. You know, they're in the front lines, so you need to listen to your staff. As I said, they're not always right, but listen to them.
Yeah. Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thanks for all you do and all the ways that you show up. But mostly, just thanks for doing that all as the most like authentic you, which I love. You are the same person in every space that I see you operate in. And that's a rare quality that I just love about you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we need more of that in the world.
We're gonna get to know you. We're gonna talk it out. We're gonna get to know you and what you're all about. We're gonna get to know just what makes you feel alive. We're gonna get to know how you build, lead, and thrive.
Build, Lead, and Thrive. Voices of the Androscoggin.